This example gives us two ordered pairs, -5, -1, and 2, 6. It tells us that these ordered pairs are the endpoints of the diameter of a circle. It then asks us to find the length of the radius of the circle and to find the center. And then when we're done, write the equation for the circle. First thing you should do here is to draw a picture. Draw your circle, and then they tell us that these 2 points are the endpoints of the diameter. The diameter is the largest distance across the circle. These two ordered pairs we can label -5, -1, and 2, 6. It asks us to find the radius of the circle. We know the radius is exactly half the diameter. Now, there's two ways to work this particular problem. One way works, I'm going to say, all of the time, and then the other way can get really ugly depending on what you get as the center of your circle. What I will do here is to find the radius. I will find the total distance between these 2 points, and then I'll divide it by 2. When we use the distance formula, I have encouraged you to use proper notation as far as variables. Because we're finding a diameter in this particular situation, I'm going to use the letter D as my variable. Formula for distance. And then I'm going to label my points x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. It's really irrelevant which points you label which, as long as the 1's go together and the 2's go together. I use the variable d because I'm finding the total distance between these two, which is the diameter. X sub 2 is 2. Minus x sub 1 is -5, square that, plus y sub 2 is 6, minus y sub 1 is -1, square that. Underneath the root, we want to simplify our signs and our values. I'll do a couple of steps in one step. 2 minus -5 would be the same thing as 2 plus 5, which is 7. So we'll have 7 squared plus 6 minus -1 is the same thing as 6 plus 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 squared is 49 plus 7 squared is 49. Add 49 and 49 and you'll get 98. We want to try to factor 98 to see if there are any perfect squared factors in 98. Doing this, we find out that 98 is 49 times 2. So we can rewrite this root as the square root of 49 times 2. And then we know what the square root of 49 is. Square root of 49 is 7. 2 is prime, it has no perfect root. So we leave the 2 underneath the root. Now keep in mind that this was the diameter. What I want is I want the radius. So the radius would always be half of the diameter. So what I'll do is I'll say 7 square roots of 2 over 2 is my radius. Be careful that you don't cancel the 2's. One is under a square root, the other one is not. So that is the simplest form for your radius and is an exact answer. Now it asks for the center. So I'm going to scroll back up, and as the second part, I'm going to find the center. To find the center of the circle, you see that we want to find the midpoint between the 2 points given. So we're actually going to use our midpoint formula, which was, you're going to average your x's and you're going to average your y's. Alright, so plugging in, x sub 2 was 2 plus x sub 1 was negative 5. Y sub 2 was 6 plus y sub 1 was negative 1. Keep in mind that this is an ordered pair, so you want to keep that ordered pair notation. 2 plus negative 5 on the top is negative 3. When you divide by 2, you get negative 3 halves. And then 6 plus negative 1 is 5, so it would be 5 over 2. If these fractions reduce, you want to reduce them. In this case, they do not. I want to leave them exact, and so that would be the center for my circle. Now let's collect the information that we are given to do the final part of the problem. The final part was to write the equation of the circle. We have found out that r equals 7 square roots of 2 over 2, and we know that the center of our circle, which would be negative 3 over 2 and 5 over 2, gives us h and k. Standard equation of a circle, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And all we need to do from this point is to plug in what we know and then simplify our result. Remember that when we're plugging in h and k, we change the signs of what we have originally. The reason for that is in the formula there are negatives in front of both h and k. So we're going to do x plus 3 halves squared plus y minus 5 halves squared equals 7 roots of 2 over 2 all squared. The left-hand side won't really simplify. There's no signs to simplify, no values that simplify, so we're going to leave it as it is. The right-hand side, however, does simplify. When you have a fraction and it's squared, you're going to square each piece of your fraction. So the 7 will get squared, the square root of 2 will get squared, and the 2 on the bottom will get squared. Okay, left side is fine, so I'm just going to copy that down. And then squaring, 7 squared is 49 times, when I square the square root of 2, the root symbol and the square cancel, so that's just going to be 2 over, and then when you square 2, you'll get 4. Okay, my last step here is I'm going to reduce that fraction. Instead of multiplying the 49 times the 2, because the top is multiplied and the bottom is divided, I can go ahead and reduce right now. 2 will go into both 2 and 4, so I can reduce that out. So our final answer will be x plus 3 halves squared plus y minus 5 halves squared equals 49 over 2. And that is the equation of the circle.